But we are not alone. And that's not a reference to aliens and or Michael Jackson. This is... We're joined by DJ Eric. Hold on, they won't be able to hear you, Eric, so give me 2 seconds. Now they'll be able to hear you, hopefully, so now you can talk. Now you're free to talk. So this is the Flash hot takes to start off the stream. Obviously, some are going to be edgier than others, and they are in... Oh, God, I thought I had a Marvel tin for a second. They're in the... I don't know if you can see it. They're in the Batman popcorn tin. They're in the Batman popcorn tin. So we're really ready to get into it. You know what? Do I have it? I do. It's not just the tin, it's the lid as well. So let's give it a good old shake up, martini style. Oh God, that's loud. Okay, there's no hacking here. I put everything possible in there. There's no hacking. I feel like I'm like playing, like I'm on what are they called? Like the lottery numbers on TV. I'm like one of the girls in like the nice dresses and everything.
Come on, I need money.
Yeah. Daddy needs a new pair of shoes. Okay. Oh, here we go. This is coming from The Next Level. The Next Level. Neil Sandilands, who played the Thinker, is the best actor that played a villain on this show. I'm talking about how he portrayed the character of Clifford DeVoe, which was superior to other actors that played villains on The Flash. His chemistry and rivalry against Grant was solid. Now, I, as a big defender of Season 4, absolutely agree with this. I think Neil Sandilands, was probably I think in his time on the show, did like probably the best job per episode, if that makes sense, because you've had Tom Cavanaugh come back and be like there a lot of times and stuff like that. But I mean, for the short amount of time, I think he did a really good job. But that's why the parts in Season 4 where he's not there aren't that great, because he was so good.
So my hot take to that hot take is it's easier for somebody to shine when they have less amount of time on screen, because they just have to nail the times they're there, and he spent a good portion of the season not being there as the villain.
That's true. And on a side note, do you think that's the case with Matt Letscher as Reverse Flash as well?
Probably. I like Matt Letscher, but I don't know if he would have nailed it. When you come back and you're given like one episode to do once in a while, you get a chance to really shine. Look, I'm not attacking their quality. He's a great actor. I'm just saying that had he been there the whole season, we might not feel the same way about it. But yeah. I will agree that while he was there, I don't think he ever had any like weak moments in the beginning and the end of the season. So
yeah, I think he just played a villain really well. At least one that like you just couldn't read too well, and he's like, I don't trust this dude. I think he's like, there's something sus going on. I wish he would have been there
all season. I think the body jumping thing was not a great. I mean, I know why they did it, but I just didn't really care.
Yeah, I think it would have been better if the body jumping was more just power taking rather than body jumping. But maybe that was a part of his contract or something like that. So. I don't know, it's a hard one to say. People saying that we're dissing Matt Letscher. I'm not saying Matt Letscher's, I'm just saying, is that the case? We won't know, because Matt Letscher never got that increased amount of screen time.
He was great on Legends, but that's a different show.
Yeah, and also that was with a group as well. He was a part of that group thing. So I've just secretly taken one out. This sort of ties in. It's fate, I guess. It's fate. So this is coming from Alejandro Angel, and they say, I like Season 4. The story with DeVoe was unique and was glad he wasn't just another speedster. I enjoyed Nora for the most part. Her reveal being Barry Norris's daughter surprised me, though I had some suspicions. Now, I will say this, though Season 4 isn't my favorite season, I am a big defender of Season 4, and the only thing I really agree with is the body swapping, but I think people go too hard on it, to be completely honest. But I think DeVoe's great. I think the story there with Ralph is really good. I think Barry's really good in that season as well. And funnily enough, like, though Season 4 is clearly the worst season for Iris, and she's a shockingly bad character in that season, I hardly mention it because I think the good outweighs the bad in that season by quite a lot. Now, I remember I had to defend my ass off back when Season 4 was airing. I felt like a one-man army. And I had the chief of the Rebel Alliance, or whatever you call up there in the corner.
I didn't like Ralph in Season 4. I think Ralph got really good in Season 5. I didn't really like him in Season 4. I think he was much better in Season 5. And I think that Season 4 is towards the back end of my seasons. But I will agree, I was wrong about Ralph's character journey, but I did not like him as much in Season 4 as I did in Season 5.
Well, just to clarify, do you like Season 4? Would you go there and watch it again? Or is it like a Season 7 where you're like, ooh?
No, okay, so right now, I think, I mean, the bottom 3 seasons for me right now are Seasons 5, 7, and 9.
In order? So 5 is the worst, or 5 is the third worst?
No. Those are just the bottom 3.
Oh, just a general thing. Okay.
Season. Yeah. 5 is the worst for me. Like, right now, and I think that maybe some of these episodes at the end of season 9 will pull it out for me because I will watch them again. But I think right now 9 as a whole season sits at the bottom for me. So yes, I would watch season 4 again over like those other 3 seasons.
Okay, interesting.
I guess I would put 4 in the middle of the pack for me. I guess, really, if you look at it.
For me, I think it's hard because sometimes I sit there and I change opinions and stuff like that. But like 4 is like it's up there for me. When I say up there, I mean it's probably in the top half, you know? But yeah. Okay, so this is coming from Nick with a Y. So NYCK. I don't know if it's meant to... Is that meant to be like Is that New York City Knicks? Maybe it's meant to be New York City Knicks. I don't know. But it's Nick with a Y, but I don't know if you can see that. Like it says NYCK. Anyway. But they said, I think season 6B of the back half of season 6, so 6B of The Flash is good. Oh, there it is. It's in the chat, Nick Productions. So yeah, it's just your name. Okay. I wasn't too sure. Okay. So Nick said, I think season 6B of The Flash is good. It's weird because some of the episodes are cut off due to COVID. So
we always struggle with this when we've talked about where we rank season 6. It's always like, do we count like the beginning of season 7 or do we count it as it ended in season 6?
Yeah.
It's a mixed bag for me for season 6.
Yeah, because the thing is, season 6 loses 2 really good episodes and season 7 gains them. So if you really look at it, like you just play them as they are.
I mean, look, if season 6 would have contained those episodes, one of those 3 episodes was a 10 out of 10 for me. So yeah, I think it would have been really strong in season 6, but we got them broken up. So I don't know. I didn't like the wrap up of that storyline. I think the wrap up of that storyline was not good, but I think a lot of it was. I think this is my hot take, maybe, that Iris in the Mirrorverse is some of the best acting that Candace Patton has done on The Flash, I think.
Yeah.
And she was separated from everybody for like...
She like fully had her own storyline. It's just that sometimes it felt a bit inconsistent. Like it felt like they were spending a lot of time there, and then sometimes you get like one scene with her. It's like things were jumping around, but for the most part, it was pretty consistent, I'd say. Yeah. At least in regards to her performance. Okay, so this one's coming from Tyler Canales. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. At least his surname. My personal hot take is I love all the seasons of The Flash, but I think season 3 and 5 are actually the best seasons. So that might be the hottest take so far. Not the 3 part, I can understand 3, but the 5. And I know there's people in the chat that like season 5 a lot. So Tyler's coming in with the hot take, the hot enchilada, if you want to put it. Yeah, so are we going to touch 3? Because I can understand people liking 3 a lot because Savitar and stuff like that.
I don't think it's a hot take to say 3 because 3 is in my top 3.
I think 3 is like the best. I actually think 3 is the best season until the musical episode and they screw up Wally's story. And then it's sort of like it for me, it was a bit like I was salty after that. But 5, I think, is a really hot take. I think 5 has some good episodes, but I can't vibe with it. Bit of a Flash reference there. I can't vibe with it in regards to it being one of, well, I guess, does he say the best seasons? Yeah, so 3 and 5 are the best seasons, so top 2. I can't vibe with that. No, I'm attacking Tyler. Tyler, I'm champion in season 4, and everyone seems to disagree with him for the most part.
I mean, I'm just looking through. There's a couple of episodes that I think are okay. Like, I think the King Shark and Gorilla Grodd episode is fine.
I think the 100th episode is good. What's past this prologue is really good.
Yeah, I think that the also, what was the other one I saw that was pretty good was the All Dolled Up. That was a Ragdoll episode. I thought was pretty good as well. But I
can't remember that one. I know what it was like. I can't remember exactly what happened.
It was just a creepy episode.
Was that the one with Joe, or was that another one when Joe gets taken? Or was that another episode?
I think that's another episode.
Okay, it's another episode.
But this is the one where he crawls out of the like box and he's like upside down and everything. I don't know. It was really creepy. I did enjoy that episode. I think my issue with season 5 is it just didn't make a lot of sense. I mean, it was like a lot like the whole fact that Nora was there for the whole season was just, I don't know. And the tone was off, and Barry had that ugly suit. I mean, I take off half the points of the season for the suit, that fucking bike helmet. I can't. No.
Okay, this one's coming from Anthony Jiang, and they say their hot take is I like the graphic novel. I can't speak today. I like the graphic novel idea. It's a good idea. I just think the execution was a bit worse. Just cut out interlude / filler. And it is good. I agree with that 100%. I actually think one of the best things that Eric Wallace brought in, at least in regards to some sort of consistency, was the graphic novel thing. And I don't think it's necessarily the format that people dislike. That might be the case, but I think it's just sometimes it's a crap story, aka Forces, aka whatever else might be, like Red Death. Like it just might not be a very good story, but it's within that format. But I think that format allows something like Armageddon to work really well, or the Bloodwork arc to work really well. And even depending on how the Cobalt Blue thing is like that, just a contained story. But I think doing it every single time is where there's some weaknesses.
I kind of disagree with it.
Okay. Voice off, Eric. Get your edgy thoughts out there.
So I happen to like the main villain throughout the entire season. And I think the idea of graphic novels was a way for Eric Wallace to use those interlude episodes to lift up the supporting cast too much. Because I think he wrangled them off in a way where sometimes it didn't make sense. And a good example is this season. I think that the interludes all being back to back to back kind of didn't make a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
And I think that during other seasons, if they would have been spaced out differently, maybe, but also it creates this thing within the fandom where the interlude episodes don't matter. Right? Like it makes people go, oh, well, it's just an interlude episode. I don't have to watch it. Instead of just making the interludes another graphic novel. They could have called it like, the something storyline. And then each interlude is those characters dealing with something else. I don't know. There's something more creative. I don't necessarily disagree with the idea that graphic novels can be interesting. I don't think that they were done well on the show because you could have a graphic novel and still introduce a season-long villain.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah. Like, do you mean like something how we had with like if you go back to Arrow, for example, and like Deathstroke had Brother Blood for the first half, but it led into the Deathstroke thing. But Deathstroke was clearly the villain for the season because they still had the flashback stuff happening. So you could have something playing in the background. Yeah, okay, I get you with that one. Yeah. And I think that's maybe where they, like, for example, they could have done this season with Cobalt Blue. Like Cobalt Blue didn't have to first appear in episode 10. He could have appeared in like episode 3.
That's a perfect example. Yeah. Like if they would have had something where we saw blue lights or a blue crystal in between scenes or something happens and sort of sets that off. Because to be completely honest, Keone is a season-long storyline that connects to Cobalt Blue, but Cobalt Blue was relegated to the final graphic novel.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. Like I feel like Keone being introduced at the beginning of the season and then waiting until the end to wrap up the stuff with Cobalt Blue feels like Cobalt Blue should have also been sort of introduced earlier. But that's just my take on it. I don't know. I mean, there was a little weirdness in the way they spaced out season 9. To be completely honest.
Yeah, I'm not going to disagree with that at all. Not going to disagree with that side. This one's coming from Zach King, going back to Flash season 3, and they say Savitar was the coolest villain we ever got. His first time meeting Barry, where he was just appearing and disappearing on the tracking map because he was moving that fast, was just sick. Coolest villain, Savitar. Agree, disagree, half. Where are you? Because for me,
he's yeah.
No, you go.
I would say he's in my top 5, but he's not my number 1. So.
Ooh, okay. I think in season 3, I thought he was really, really cool. I think maybe it loses a bit of steam come the end of it when you just realize it's just Future Barry. It's like, oh, like the reveal was cool for Future Barry, but I think maybe where it loses steam. I want to say that's where it does, and maybe that changes the perspective of it.
There's a lot of issues with Savitar. I mean, the Savitar suit was very cool. I think if Savitar would have been someone else, I would have appreciated it more. I think making Savitar Barry and then hiding him in the suit for no reason whatsoever felt so just contrary to me. I don't know why. Like, what was the point of him hiding who he is? And what was the point of revealing who he was? Like, I don't understand that. Like, it didn't just, I don't know. I didn't really care for it too much, but I think Savitar was definitely top 5, not number 1 for me. I think they fumbled the ball in the fourth quarter. So
okay. I was okay. I don't know. I'm not too sure where I'd rank Savitar, but I thought you might have had him higher than that. So that's sort of surprising. Maybe that's your hot take for the day. I'm not too sure.
Well, I sat down the other day and thought about my top 5, and he was number 5 for me. So
yeah. I think so my thing with the Savitar thing is just like maybe the reveal was where I don't think they dropped it. I'm fine with it being Barry if that's the story and sort of works with the story. I think they just prolonged it too much. It wasn't that
that's
good.
What I mean. Like, yes, I agree with that.
It wasn't that massive reveal like, oh my God, to hold it off that long in the season. But maybe like, sometimes you don't know that when you're writing it, which I'm fine with. Like you can't predict what the fans are gonna theorize and guess early.
They waited to do that after they had been writing the season, or do you think they knew from the beginning?
I think they probably knew roughly when they were going to reveal it, but maybe not exactly. Oh, it's going to be in this. What was it, like the third or fourth last episode or something like that? I think they revealed it. So I don't know if they planned specifically that, but I think it was just maybe prolonged by a bit. Yeah. I don't know. Apparently Eric Wallace doesn't read social media, so maybe I'm talking out of my ass. I don't know. Anyway, this one's coming from Entertainment About Entertainment. Oh, not flashing back too far. We're heading to season 7. Season 7 wasn't that bad after the Forces storyline. I feel like the Godspeed arc was much better than anything done with Cicada in season 5. It was set up well and was easy to understand. Episode 15 is easily the best episode of the season, and it's like a 9 out of 10. My thoughts on that is, I agree that the back half is better than the Forces arc, but I think that's like saying like just a McDonald's hamburger is better than a pile of ass or a pile of crap. Like that's not that. I don't think that's too much. That's too hard of a thing there. But I don't know if it was. I don't know if it was better than this, because I really like the first half of season 5 with Cicada. I think it works. I think it's in the back half where it gets drawn out. I don't want to say I really like, that's stressing it, but I think it works much better. I think the Cicada thing, the beginning up half of season 5 works
Did
well.
they say episode 15 was like a 9 out of 10?
Yeah, what's episode 15?
Enemy at the Gates. It's the one where Godspeed and clones arrive in Central City to target Barry, and Chester creates a translating algorithm. The one where he uses it to like figure out what the clones are saying, because remember, we can't understand them. And then in that episode also they have the thing where Cecile and Caitlin remove Esperanza's black hole chip, which, by the way, I'm going to say this, Esperanza was far more interesting than Allegra was, and they got rid of her like very, very quickly on the show. That's not a 9 out of 10 episode, in my opinion. I'm sorry. I mean, I disagree with that. I don't think that's a 9 out of 10 episode.
Yeah.
There's also the episode where Chillblaine and Frost were like teaming up for the first time, I think. So
okay.
Yeah, I disagree with that.
Okay, yeah, that's yeah, I don't know if I can agree with that. I the one thing I can definitely agree with is that it's the back half of season is better than the first half, but I don't know if you can really say anything else, because I thought Godspeed was just mid, like wasn't bad, wasn't great, just mid, just really, really mid, like a 5, 6 out of 10 storyline / villain. Okay, this one's coming from Spaceman Spencer, and I don't know if this is a hot take. I don't think this is a hot take as well. I think it's just an opinion. But anyway, Spaceman's.
I probably think it's a hot take, so go ahead.
If you think it's a hot take, I'm sorry, Eddie. I was going to call you Eddie, but I was going to call you an idiot. You're an idiot, Eric, if you think this is a hot take.
Okay.
So this is from Spaceman Spencer, live from space. We should have gotten more team ups with Wally or Jay. Please don't say that you disagree. Don't sit there and think like and try and get me angry.
Are they talking between Wally and Jay, or Wally
or Jay? So Barry teaming up with Wally in an episode, and like 5 episodes later there's a Jay team up.
When you said that, I thought you meant like the two of them.
Or Wally or Jay.
Yes. The only issue I have with that, not that I have an issue with the team up, is that whenever it comes to having multiple speedsters in an episode, they always knock one out, or one of them goes missing or something like that. If you're going to have them on the episode, they need to be contributing to the story. That's my only issue.
Yeah, okay.
But other than that, yes, I agree with it.
Okay, thank the Lord. Thank Bebo, because you were thinking too hard and I was so worried. Even if it said Wally and Jay, I don't know why you disagree.
No, because it's the same thing. More than one speedster leads to them getting knocked out.
Okay. Well, I guess hypothetically they don't get knocked out. We could say that. Okay. This one I think might be interesting, because I'm not too sure where your opinion lies. And to be honest, I'm not too sure where my opinion lies, because I don't know if we got enough of the character.
I disagree.
How do you disagree? I haven't read the goddamn thing, Eric, you idiot.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
So this is coming it's a habit for you to be edgy. Okay. So this is coming from Shadow Ash or Aish. I'm going to say Ash. It's Ash with an E. Should you say Ash or Aish? Ash. Thank you, Eric. Anyway, from Shadow Ash, I enjoyed this adaptation of Impulse. I know many people have their issues in how he was utilized, and in some cases who was cast, but I thought Jordan Fisher did a great job for what he was given, and I hope maybe one day he can get his own spin-off. In the last bit, I don't think that's going to happen, the spin-off. I mean, wishful dreaming, or wishful thinking, but I'll join you in that one. In regards to this, I think for what he was given, I think he did a pretty good job, and I feel like he encompassed like a teenage or older Bart. Like not like a young teen, but like someone in that like 18, 19, like late teens. I think he encompassed a pretty good Bart and Impulse for what it was. But at the same time, I don't know if we got enough of him. Like there was some of him, but also not enough where you felt like you really got to know the character. Like Nora, we understood Nora because we had an entire season of her, and then she's appeared in like certain parts afterwards. But with Bart, like he was in like 5 episodes, 6 episodes in total. And even in some of those, it was just guest star. Like there was one where I guess you could argue he was like a focus.
Right.
So for what we got, I think he did a pretty good job for it. But in saying that, I wish we got more.
Okay. I think Jordan Fisher definitely played the part really well. I think he did a good job doing like what was on the paper in front of him, delivering all that. But then they did some weird stuff with him, like the singing thing that they had in that one episode where
I completely forgot that even happened, and now points off then. But that's the writing. Yeah. That's on his performance. That's the writing for some reason deciding. But as a ballad.
That's for me. That kind of tarnished the character, not Jordan's role as the character. Like that was a little bit weird. The other thing is that I actually think Impulse's storyline was more interesting than Nora's. I think Nora's was kind of a boring character when she got reinvented after season 5. I think she was a much more interesting character before she got erased and then came back. But I don't necessarily know if I'd want an Impulse spinoff show. So we'll leave it at that.
But this one's coming from Josh Z. Josh Z. And they say, oh God. Are you sitting down, Eric?
Yeah.
Okay, just wanted to make sure. You might have been hovering. Are you contained? Are you calm?
Yeah. Is this one am I going to disagree with this one?
We'll read it out.
Okay, read it. Get it out of there.
This is from Josh Z. The Forces storyline itself isn't that bad. It's the dialogue that makes it so hard to watch. Look, I would agree with the back half, but I don't think it takes it away from not being that bad.
I hated that storyline.
The dialogue is awful, but the storyline is also just not very good.
I don't like the idea that they gave birth to all these forces. I don't like that. I just think it's dumb. I think it's dumb.
And it's
I don't just like the idea of the forces in general. You know what I mean? Like them existing, I'm okay with. The process of how they were born makes me want to vomit. I think it was just stupid. It was just bad. And yes, the dialogue was awful.
Yeah, I think we can agree on the dialogue being awful, but I can't. I mean, I can say that I think most of it is just mid, but the final, I know it's the final 2, but I think it's also half of the back half of the third last one. That 2.5 episodes there is awful. It's like 2 out of 10 at best. And it's only like half an episode or a couple of scenes. It's 2 full episodes and then half of another episode, which are awful. In a storyline that was like 7 episodes or something like. So that's a third of the season was like a 2 out of 10. Or a third of the storyline was a 2 out of 10. So yeah. And the mummy and daddy stuff, I mean, it still gets memed to this day. I don't know who greenlit that. I'm assuming it was Eric Wallace. But yeah.
Probably.